So yeah, good evening everyone. Last week, I know like there were like a lot of technical issues. So this time we'll make sure that there won't be any technical issues from our side. So we'll wait for another 5 minutes. Uh, yeah, and if you guys have any doubts regarding the previous sessions, then you can drop in the chat section. Meanwhile, I have something for you guys. So SOSC in collaboration with Google Developer Club Sahyadri are starting a program called Android Jam. So it is a program from Google where it is for the it is for the students who are passionate about the Android development. So yeah, there will be learning paths. So if you complete, you will get badges and certificates from Google. Uttam is a felicitator for this program, so he'll be explaining more about the event. So over to Uttam.
Uh, Thank you, Sastik, for that beautiful introduction. Hey guys, so I'm Uttam from the Developer Student Club. So this year I'm going to conduct an Android study jams. So I'll just share my screen. Fawaz, can you stop sharing? Yeah, so this year from the Developer Student Club, we are bringing you the Android Studio Jam. So what this jam is basically is like you will get to know how to build an app through the Kotlin language. So it's basically from the scratch. You don't need to know any advanced Kotlin languages. It's from the scratch, and all of the contents and the labs or the quiz is specially arranged by the Google. I'll just give you a basic trial. Oh, wait. So basically, we had two tracks. The one is a new to programming tracks, and the other one is a prior to the advanced track. So since we are just a beginner level at creating an app, so I just went with the new to programming track for you guys. And we have the two units, the unit one and the unit two. So the unit one will actually take you from creating an app to an advanced app. Let us say that you are creating an app by creating a login page, and then it will take you up to the by creating a dice app. So it will start from the introduction to Kotlin languages, and all of the contents and these YouTube videos are specially arranged by the Google. And after this session, I'll tell Swastik to send the WhatsApp chat. So what we are going to do is we are going to conduct a phase, four phases. So it means that we are going to conduct this jam in 4 weeks. So in every week there will be a YouTube live session. So you can join the YouTube live session, and you can also take out this lab. So what is a benefit for you guys is that you'll get to access to the Google developer profile. So this Google developer profile is still in the beta mode. Okay, so you have access to this Google developer profile. So after completing one of the courses, let's just say that I'm completing this one of the unit one, then you will get these kind of badges, that is introduction to Kotlin and also the first app in Android Studio. Let us say that you have made an app, and so whatever the app that you have made, and I'll send it to the Google. So you might get a chance that your app is being displayed by the Google in their community in Twitter or LinkedIn. So that's all the jam we are going to conduct. So I'll tell Swastik to send the WhatsApp chat link, and let me have a very small video that I have created for the jam. First, you are there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Uh,
Well, okay, is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Let me just play the. I'll play. Right.
Yeah, guys, make sure you join the WhatsApp group and by my learning, and we'll share all of our codes and we'll share all of our creativity, and together we can build an awesome, amazing app. Yeah, that's all I had to tell. Trusty.
Yeah, thanks, Uttam. So this is actually a really great program from Google. So if you guys are really passionate about Android development, then give a try. So yeah, I think you all are excited for today's session. So I think we can get started. Over to Prakhyath, sir.
Hello, just checking once again. I guess my audio is clear.
Yeah, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll share the screen. Just acknowledge me whether my screen is visible, and then we'll get started.
Okay, sir.
Hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, sir.
Okay, fine. We'll continue with our second session. So I'll just quickly go through the topics which was done in the first session. First session, we had concentrated on basics of programming. What do you mean by programming? Why do we need programming? And how do you start learning programming? That was a main aim. So in the second session, we'll go on towards branching, and we'll see how branching is performed in C programming language. What do you mean by branching? Okay, so the courses which we'll be seeing in our second session is branching constructs. We have following branching constructs in C: if else, else if ladder, nested if, and then we have switch. So these are the branching constructs we have in C. So without wasting much of the time in this theoretical concepts, we'll directly see with the programs. I'll be sharing my screen with the CodeChef IDE. Let me know when it gets started. Someone has to acknowledge me when the IDE is
It started.
visible.
Yes, it will.
Okay, fine. Good. Okay, coming into the branching part, what do you mean by branching? Branching, as the name says, it's like taking a path. You're dividing your program flow to go to a specific path based on something happening there. So we call that as a branching. The simple one is a if loop. For example, if I if, so before that, let me take first integer variable a equal to 7. So I'm writing a condition inside, which I will be writing as if a greater than 0. Okay. So if you see it clearly here, there is a condition written inside the if. So this a greater than 0, we call it as a condition. So this condition is written in relational operators. Usually we use relational operators for conditions. So if I have to give examples of relational operators, it should be greater than, less than, equal to, not equal to. So these are the relational operators. You can also go for combining the relation operators. You can go for logical operators for combining it. So the various logical operators you can use and then you can also go for, or you can go for not operator. So these are the different kinds of operators which we can use whenever we're giving conditions. So I can tell the condition can be a combination of relational and logical operators, but you need to be always taking care that this condition should result in either 1 or 0. So what we usually call that as either true or false. Let's put this here. So the condition should always yield in either 1 or 0. So I'll be writing it here. Condition. It should take only two paths. Either it should be 1 or it should be 0. 1 we call it as true and 0 we call it as false. Now if this condition is true, this whole thing will return 1. So if 1, I should enter this block. This is called as a true block. So let me write here printf. I've just written true block and I've written a new line. Okay, so this is a simple if statement which I've written, which says that I have a variable a, which is a type integer, for which I have given a value 7. This is a static declaration. Okay, what do you mean by static declaration is, in the code itself, I'm giving value to 7. I'm not reading it from the input or from the console. I'm just feeding it in the code itself. So we call it as a static declaration. If you're reading it through the console using a scanner or any other operations, we usually call it as dynamic input. So this is a static input which I've given for a, and it is 7. I'm writing a condition if a greater than 0. So obviously this condition is true because the value of a is 7. 7 is greater than 0. So if it is true, then it will enter this pair of braces. Remember, I call this as pair of braces. You can also call it as flower braces, but don't call it as brackets. We call it as braces. So it's a pair of flower braces, you can call if you want, or just a brace is enough. So it's a pair of braces which indicates that if this condition is true, then only my control is jumping towards this part. That is true part. If the condition is not true, it's not entering the true path, it's going outside directly. So let me write here one more statement. Printf outside if. Okay. So now since the value of a is greater than 0, it should be first entering the true block. After performing the true block, it will come out of this parenthesis and then it will print what is there outside the if. That is outside if. So answer of this particular code should be first true block, and then you can see here outside if. Okay. Now what happens if I change my value of a to -7? So what happens? A greater than 0. It is false because a is -7. -7 is not greater than 0. So if it is false, it will never enter this block. It will directly go outside of if. So if it is true, it will enter the block. If it is false, it will directly come outside the block. So now if I run this particular program, I'll be getting outside if. That's because since my condition was false, it never entered the true block. It directly came outside the true block. Okay. Now, what are the different questions which you usually get in your campus drives are? This is a general thing where I use a pair of braces and then I'll show you neatly that this is a true block and it is outside, it is a coming if it's not entering the true block. Okay, let me show you another example which we usually have. Some questions what we usually get is, right, int a equal to 7 if a greater than 0. Printf. I'll just write statement 1, a new line. Write statement 2. Okay, this is statement 3. So some questions which you usually get is like this. And the value of a they would have given -7 to make it bit difficult. So what is the output of this? We'll first analyze it. What is the trick here is they have not used a pair of brace. If you see in the previous example, if I show you, I've used a pair of brace. So what happens is if I write here true block 1 and if I write another printf, it says true block 2. Now, if my a value is 7, if you see, it's a true condition, it will enter this true block. It will print both of these statements. Then it will go outside and then it will print this statement. So if you see, we'll get 3 statements. Okay, true block 1, true block 2, and outside if. That's clear. Now, if I write minus here, it will never enter the true block. That means both these statements are not executed. Both these printfs are not executed. Directly it's coming outside and it is printing outside if. Okay. You can see outside if is getting printed. There is no confusion because with the use of these pair of braces. If you see the second example, I have a if condition, but I'm not used a pair of braces. I'm directly writing printf statement 1, printf statement 2, printf statement 3, and my a value is -7. So a greater than 0 is obviously false. So this condition is false. Okay. If this condition is false, it should not enter the true block. It should directly come outside the true block. So what should be the statements getting executed? Most of us will feel that since they have given a same amount of tab space, both these print statements belong to if. No, it is wrong. You should be very careful in answering these questions. We are just tricking you by giving an extra tab here. So if there is no pair of braces after if, that means this particular if construct is applicable to only one statement below that. That means this is only coming under true block. Only this is in true block. Why it is confusing? Because we have given an extra tab space for the second statement also to just confuse you, to make you think that, okay, these two statements are also belonging to true block. No, this only first statement is belonging to the true part. Next statement is actually outside it. So how do I confirm it? Now, if I run this particular program, a value is less than 0. So it is not matching this particular condition. So it should come outside the true block. So it should be printing statement 2 and statement 3. You can see here, it's printing statement 2 and statement 3. But we may feel in the first, when we look at it, may be feeling like these two things are coming under if. So my output should be statement 3, only statement 3, because it's false condition. No, only first line comes to if. You should be very careful in C programming if there is a construct, branching or looping construct, and if you have not used a pair of braces, that means it's applicable only to the immediate next statement only. It's not applicable to other statements. Okay, so this is one question which they usually trick. If they would have given +7, there is no difference. Everyone would have got the correct answer. A greater than 0. Yes, 7 is greater than 0. So it would have come to true block. That means it would have printed 1, 2, and it will print 3 also. There is no difficulty in understanding if the value of A was 7. There is no confusion in understanding if the value of A was 7. But to trick, they'll just give -7 so that the condition has to be false. So this is a trick here, what they usually play in some of the ticking rounds or aptitude rounds. So to be very careful, you should be knowing only one concept. In C, if there is a branching or looping construct or any control constructs, if a pair of brace is not used, then it's applicable to only its next immediate statement. Okay, so this is one more question. One more thing, what they usually give is, they give if and they write 1. Printf, true block, outside if. So if you see here, I have not given any condition. Directly, I have given a value. It's a valid statement. It's a valid construct. It's a valid statement. What happens in our previous cases, computer was first calculating A greater than 0. Means it was just checking what is the value of A greater than 0. Is it true or false? It's false. That means we are not seeing it, but this whole thing will be replaced. That is, the A greater than 0 would have been replaced by 0. What do you mean by 0? 0 means false, which we usually don't see. It's been done by your computer, or it's been done by your system. If at all I would have given A as 7, it would have yielded to 1, because 7 is greater than 0. Now, since -7 is not greater than 0, it will tell that the result is false, 0. So this was done by your system. Now what is happening in my example, what I took now here is, I'm directly telling the value is 1. That means there is no condition to be checked. It's always true. So always this true block will be executed. So if you see the answer, run it any number of times, the answer should be true block and then outside if. So as simple as it. And if I would have given here 0, the answer would have been just outside if. You can see here outside if. Okay. What is the confusion part is they'll not give 1, they'll not give 0. To make you more confused, they'll give -5. Now it's like, okay, -5. Is it true or is it false? Most of you have a misconception that, okay, less than 0 or 0, it is false. More than 0, it is true. No, it's not like that. In computer, true is having only one definition. That is non-negative. True means it is non-negative. True means it is non-negative. You should be knowing it. Sorry, it's not non-negative. True means it is non-zero. Pardon me. True means 0. Non-zero. False means 0. So this is the definition for true and false in our computer science. Any non-zero value is taken as true, and only 0 is considered as false. So now it is 5. Excuse. So 5. -5. So what is -5? Is it 0 or is it non-zero? It is non-zero, obviously. That means it's true. So if you see now, if I execute this, I'll be getting true block and also outside if. See here, true block and also outside if. Okay, one more. To make it a little bit more complicated, they'll give 1/2. Okay, so before that, we'll see. I'll give 0.5. 1/2 is nothing but 0.5. Now, what is 0.5? Is it true or is it false? Remember, true means non-zero. Is it 0? No, it is non-zero. That means it is true. If I run this, again the answer will be true block and outside if. See here, true block and outside if. When is it confusing is, I'll not give 0.5, I'll be giving 1/2. Now what is the answer? Obviously, now since I've told you that 0.5 is true, most of you will tell that, yeah, it's true. It is false. Why? 1/2. 1 is an integer, 2 is an integer. So when it performs the division, 1/2 is an integer division. That's why the answer is not 0.5. The answer is 0. You may be telling computer is not so intelligent, right? No, computer is actually doing implicit type conversion. When both of the operands are integers, the answer also will be kept in integer. So now 1/2, it will not take it as 0.5. It will take it as 0. That's why it will think that if 0 means if false. So it will only execute outside if. We'll see the output. See, outside if. That's where we confuse you. It's not one concept. I've used two concepts here. One is type conversion and one more is if. So be careful. Okay, how do I make it as correct is, there is a rule in our computer science. If any one of the operand is of higher type, automatically the whole operations will be performed in higher type. That means I'll just make my 2 as 2.0. That means my 2 is not an integer now. My 2 is a float. And now the answer will be 0.5. So that's why now you will get the answer as true block and also outside if. See? So these are the places where they usually test your skills. Like, how do you actually tackle these questions? It's very tricky at some point of times. It's not just to understand true and false. They'll combine it with type conversions also. So be careful in this. One thing you need to remember, in computer science, any non-zero value is considered as true. Only 0 is considered as false. For example, some more examples, easy. Now, since you know everything, 0.55. Now the answer is non-zero. If you see here, it is non-zero. So it should be true block and outside if. True block and outside if. So this is how you need to be understanding your logic behind the constructs which we are using in your C programs. This is very simple. Simple thing to remember: true and false. What do you mean by true? What do you mean by false? And it is not always. Always you would have a habit of seeing here a greater than 0, b greater than 0, a equal to 1, b equal to 1. It need not be always relational operators. You can directly give it a value. You can directly give it a value. Okay, I'll take it to a next level. Okay. There was one standard question which was usually asked around 5 to 6 years back. Usually asked interview question is, you need to write a program to print your name. You need to write a program to print your name without using even one semicolon. Without using even one semicolon. So usually if I have to write for printing my name, how I would have written this? I would have written printf. Okay, he wants my name. Give Prakhyath. So full name if he wants, let me give Prakhyath Rai. Correct? So I would have given like this. And those who like capital, they'll give everything in capital. So it's up and fine, it's working. It will print my name. You can see here, it's printing my name. But what was the question is, I should not use even one semicolon. Ignore this part because in this online IDE, I have to use written statement. Others, those who are doing in offline, right, you can go for using void main. So if I write void here, I need not write return 0. Okay, so I should be using a printf without semicolon, which should give me the answer. Now, if I remove semicolon here, it throws an error because it doesn't identify the print construct. Because in our computer C programming language, we know the rule that every statement should end with a semicolon. So you can see here, there is an expected semicolon, the error is shown. So how do I write? Okay, so see here, it's written like this. I should write an if. Inside if I'm writing printf, I'm just opening a pair of braces, that's it. If you see here, inside if I have written a printf. And then I'm just running this program. You see my name is getting printed. I have not used a semicolon. I did not use semicolon for printf. Ignore me for this return 0. It comes because of int. If I replace int with void, I need not write return 0. Since it's an online compiler, it's connected to the server, so it should be returning status. So that's why this statement is there. But normally, if you do in your IDE, those who are executing in your laptop, if you check, you can see here, there is a printf written, but there is no semicolon used. So this was a question 5 years back, usually asked, how do you print your name without using semicolon? Fine. Okay, now how this works. So now we need to understand the logic of it. Why is it becoming true? Why is it considering this printf as true? Okay, how do we know it is considering it as true? So I'll write printf. Let me write true block. Any questions? Just keep putting on the chat box. I'll take it in between and then I'll answer all the questions. Any concept? Again, you have any questions on the concepts? You can also put that also in the chat box. Okay. So see here, I've written if printf Prakhyath Rai, something is written in the printf in the if inside if, and then I'm writing if true block and false block. Now means outside true block. And now we need to see whether it is taking it as true or is it taking it as false. If it's taking it as true, that means it should print both this true block and outside if. If it is taking it as false, then it should only print outside if. It will take it as a true. So we'll see why. In the next explanation, I'll give you why. So if you see here, Prakhyath Rai and then true block. Why true block? Because after Prakhyath Rai, I have not given a new line. That's why it's coming in the same line. Let me give a new line here. And let me run. So now you can see 3 things are printed. Prakhyath Rai, true block, outside if. Why Prakhyath is printed? It's because of this printf inside if. True block because it's telling that this condition is true. Then what's the meaning of it? Why is it telling it as true? Okay, that will show in another example. I'll show you. If you see here, printf. Before that, let me go to the previous and show you one more thing. Okay, it is considering it as true. Now let me remove this Prakhyath Rai. Just a blank printf I've given. I've removed Prakhyath Rai. If you want A, I'll write A. And then I'll run. Again, it considers it as true. If you see, it prints A, true block outside if. Means it has considered this particular condition as true part. Okay, now let me remove A. I've just given a pair of double quotes and I'm running. Now if you see here, outside if, only outside if is printed. It's not considering this printf as true now. I just gave a pair of braces, it's not considering. If I have given one character, or if I give A, B, C, D, 4 characters, and if I run it, consider it as true. See? Okay, so then what's the meaning of this printf? What is this printf giving us? So you should understand, printf always returns number of characters written on the screen. So this printf is actually a function which returns 4. Why 4? Because the number of characters printed are 4, A, B, C, D. So how do we know that it is returning 4? So what I'll do is, I'll write a %d, a little bit complicated sentence to understand, but hope you will get it. %d, what is that %d? I'll write here, printf A, B, C, D. See the statement carefully. I have written a %d, that means integer. So if I write %d, someone from here should always be giving me an integer number. But I'm not directly giving an integer number, I'm writing printf ABCD. So now if you see the answer, first it will print ABCD because of this printf, and then it will print 4. Okay. Let me run and let me show you. See, ABCD 4. Why 4 has come? First it prints ABCD and number of characters it has printed ABCD 4. That's why it is printing 4. Okay, let me verify that. Let me give ABCDE and run. It should be giving ABCDE 5. See, ABCDE 5. So always you need to remember your printf will always return an integer. And what is that integer? It's the number of characters printed. Printf returns characters printed. So you should be knowing this concept. So this is what they use it for complicating your questions. They wrote inside if a printf. So what happens if I give just a double quote pair? That means how many characters printed? 0. So that should be %d, 0. See, 0. Why 0? Because printf, nothing is getting printed. That's why 0 characters. That's why in this printf, if I remove this ABCD, it will consider it as false. Why? Because this printf is given 0. If I write at least a 1 character, at least if I write a space also, space is also a character. If I write space also, it takes it as a single character and it will return 1. So you know in computer science, as I've told earlier, any non-zero value, it is true. Only 0 is considered as false. So you can see A, true block, outside if. So that's what is actually the point here. What is your printf returning? Very important. Printf is returning the number of characters printed on the screen. So these are few questions related to simple if, which you will be encountering in your technical aptitude or campus rounds. You need to be very careful in solving some questions, trick questions also in if. Okay. Now we'll come to the next construct. If else. It's very simple. Let me take the same integer. A equal to 9 if A greater than 0, printf true block. Most of you have a misconception that if I've written simple if, this is a true block, and outside if I write something, it is a false block. No. If it is a simple if statement, there is no false block. Repeat my statement. If it's a simple if, that's why you could see my printf statement also was just writing outside if. You should be knowing this concept. Most of you have a conception in first year misunderstanding that, okay, this is a true block, outside it is called false block. No. If it's a simple if statement, there is no false block. there is only true block. False block comes when there is an else, if this or else, correct? So let me write the false block now. Else, this is a false block now, what I'm writing. Printf, false block. Okay, that's simple. So we have a true block, we have a false block, and we also have a statement which is outside if else. So since it is if else construct, let me write it as outside if else. So now first it will check if a greater than 0. What's the value of a? 9. 9 is greater than 0. Yes, the condition is true now. With 9, the condition is true. If it is true, it will execute the true block. It will never enter the false block, but it will go to the print statement outside the if else. So remember, if the condition is true, it will execute the true block. It will never enter the else, that is false block. Directly after executing this true block, it will come outside towards the else if, outside else if statement, that is outside if else statement. So now if I run this program, the output will be true block and outside if else. You can see here, true block and outside if else. Same way, if I give it as a negative value, that means this condition is going to become false. Minus 9 is not greater than 0, so it is going to yield 0, means negative, false. Correct? Non-zero value. 0 in computer science means false. The condition terms to become false because minus 9 is not greater than 0. Since it is false condition, it doesn't go to the true block, it goes to the false block. And after performing the statements in the false block, it directly comes outside. So now the answer will be false block and outside if else. So see here, false block and outside if else. Okay. So what is a question asked in some of your technical rounds are, irrespective of the condition means, I'll give here question mark. So this is how they are going to give you. Irrespective of the condition, that means you don't know whether this condition will be true or false, which is that statement which gets executed. So it is here. This gets executed irrespective of condition. Whether it is true or false, always this line gets executed. Because it's not inside the true block or inside the false block. It's outside. It's an independent line which we have written. So usually your questions will come like this in your technical round. There will be 4 options. A, true block. B, false block. C, outside if else. D, true block, outside if else. So you need to be answering any of the questions there. So you need to be very careful in answering. The question is irrespective of A. That means we don't know what's the value of A, but you should be telling us which is that one sentence which gets executed given any value of A. So this is the only sentence which gets executed for any value of A. True block gets executed for only A greater than 0. False block gets executed for only A less than 0. But this is the line which gets executed with true also, with false also. So you have to be very careful. Don't take this as a false block. This is an independent block outside if else. So this is a simple if else construct. Okay, how do you get questions? How do you complicate the things here? So what I'll be writing is, if, let me take the same variable int a equal to 7. Okay, if a greater than 0, printf statement 1 \n semicolon printf statement 2 and a new line character, and then here I'll write else printf statement 3, a new line character of statement 4, new line. Okay, simple. Let me write this also outside. Now what's the answer? Okay, to confuse you, we have used multiple tab spaces, and then there is if else also. Okay. Now, what is the confusion? What we get usually is we think these two lines belong to if part, and these two lines belong to else part, and this is outside, independent. But it is wrong. I've told earlier itself, if any construct in C, control constructor in C, is not having a pair of braces, that means it's applicable to only its immediate first statement. That means statement 1, ST1 is only the statement which is belonging to if. Then what about this? Whether it should be considered as an independent statement or what is this? So this condition, your computer is also confused. So we take it as error. So we call it as an error. What is the error? For this particular else, the previous construct should be if. But my previous constructor is not if. My previous construct is an independent statement. This is an independent statement. It doesn't belong to if. So now if I run this program, I'll get an error. See? You can see the error. See the error, as I said, else without a if. My else will always expect a if. But what did I give him? I gave him an independent print statement. How do I correct this particular thing? Just put a pair of braces here. Now it is clear. Now if I run this program, since A is greater than 0, it will execute the true block. That is ST1 and ST2. Then it will come outside. Okay, we'll run this. See, it's clear. ST1, ST2 outside. Why ST1, ST2? Because the condition was true. Outside because it was an independent statement. It's not belonging to if or else. Had it been -7, the answer would have been statement 3, statement 4, then outside. We'll run. See, statement 3, statement 4, and then outside. So you need to be very careful. What is the role of these pair of braces? Braces are very, very important to indicate block section. Without braces, any control construct is taken for only its immediate next statement. So that's what is one few questions which we usually get it in if else. Okay, going into the next type of construct, which is called as else if ladder. Okay, so I'll write int a is equal to 4. Okay, so first I'm checking if a equal to 1. I'll print here printf statement 1. Just I'll write one statement 1. If a is equal to 1, I'll write else. If I just write else, it means anything other than 1, it gets called to else part. But I'll be writing again a if condition, else if. I'll be write a equal to 2. Writing printf statement 2. Same way. Let me write another. Equal to 3. Statement 3. At the end, we need to compulsory have one else. All right. See the construct carefully here. First, I will be checking if a equal to 1. Is my a equal to 1? So the answer is false because a value is 4. If it is false, it will check the next block. Next block is else if. That means again it has to check a condition. So again it will check whether a is equal to 2. No, again wrong, false. It will go to the third block. It will check whether A is equal to 3. No, it is again false. So it will go to which block? Last block. Last block, there is no condition. That means it will surely enter this block. If all the previous blocks are false, then it will surely perform this particular line. That is statement 4. So let me run this. You can see here statement 4. Why? Because all the previous blocks were wrong. Now assume that my value of A was 1. I gave 1. That means A equal to 1. So first block itself is true. If first block itself is true, it will never go to any of the other statements. It will directly come outside. Okay. For our benefit, we'll write one more statement here outside. Okay. So when A was 4, our previous example, all of these ifs were failing, so it will get into else, that is st4. Then it will come out and it will print outside. So we'll run this. It will print st4 and outside. See, st4 and outside. Because outside is not dependent on the condition. It's an independent block. It doesn't belong to the else if ladder. Now, if my A was 1, that means this particular place it has become true. It's never going to check the other if. It's directly coming to outside. So it will print st1 and then it will print outside. We'll see. You see here it's printing st1 and then it is printing outside. Assume I give A equal to 2. First it checks whether A is equal to 1. False. So it will again go to the next one. A equal to true. Yes. So it will print st2. It will never go to the other things. It will directly go to outside. So if any of the if condition is true, it will enter that and it will directly come outside. So now the answer will be st2 and outside. You can see your st2 and outside. So this is called as else if ladder. Any number of else if statements can be written, but the last condition should be else. But the last condition should be else. So this is called else if ladder. Okay. One more question which I got reminded just now. I'll just share it. Okay. So the thing is int A equal to 4. Sorry, A equal to 4. Printf. Sorry. Printf if A equal to 3. Printf true \n. Then I'll be writing printf outside. That's it. Okay, what I've written the condition is very simple. A I have given us 4 and I'm checking whether A equal to 3. Obviously it's false because A is not equal to 3. So it should come and print outside. So we'll see it's printing outside. What was the question? This is not the question. I'm just showing you outside. Very much clear to us. To just trick, they'll give like this. A equal to 3. Now it is confusing. A is equal to 4. And if I have given A equal to 3, what it should take? This is not a relational operator. A equal to 3 is assignment operator. It's an assignment operator. What do you mean by assignment operator? 3 is given to A. Here also we have assignment operator. 4 is given to A. Previously I gave 4 to A. Now I am giving 3 to A. So the meaning of this is 3 is given to A. So what is the value of A now? 3. What's the value of A? 3. So if 3, that means true. If 3, this whole line, it will be got converted as if 3. Why 3? Because first you are giving 3 to A. So after giving 3 to A, it will equate itself into 3 because A value of A is 3. So that's why it will execute true and then outside. Just let me run. See here, true and outside. So you need to be very, very careful in this. To confuse you, they'll not give double equal to, they'll give just symbol equal to, A equal to 3. to just confuse you. Fine. Okay. If they have given just A, then this whole thing would have equated to if 4. Why 4? Because value of A is 4. So if 4, that means if true, then also the answer will be true outside. Okay. One more operator what they use is they use not A. You need to be very careful with not. This is called not operator. I am telling you need to be very careful with not operator is not of 1 is 0. Everyone knows that. Not of 1 is 0. Opposite they tell not operator is opposite. But what is not of 5? That is also 0. What is this not operator doing is, if the next person is non-zero, it will make him as 0. If the next person is 0, it will make him as not 1. So not of 0 is equal to 1. What I gave here is not of A. So what was the value of A? 4. So not of 4 is 0. Why? 4 is true. So not of true is false. So you need to be very careful in this particular statement. Not operator only works on true and false. It doesn't work on values. If you give any value other than 0, it takes it as true. If you give 0, then only it takes it as false. That should be clear to you. So if I write anything, if I write not of -5, that is also 0. Why not of -5 is 0? Because -5 means true, non-zero. So that you should be very careful. So I can come to a conclusion that not of non-zero is equal to 0 and not of 0 is equal to 1. 1 means true. Let me put it in this way. True, and let me put it in false so that I'll not confuse you with the values. Okay. So that's why if I write not of A, that means A value is 4. You can see here I've given A as 4. 4 means true, non-zero. So not of true is false. That's why it will be the 0 and it will go and print only outside. You can see here it prints only outside. See, it prints only outside. Because this condition has now become 0. Not of 4. Not of 4 is 0. Not operator will convert any non-zero value to false and any 0 to true. So you need to be very careful in these kind of questions which will be thrown in your competitive rounds. Okay, so we have seen else if ladder. So the things which we had to see is if else, else if ladder, switch and nested if other constructs which will go for the next thing. Before that, any questions? Quickly, I'll wait for your questions. I'll stop sharing and then I'll go to your, I'll see in the chat section or anywhere. Do I have any questions? Okay. Many questions. We'll start from first. Lots of questions have piled up. Okay. What is the significance of tab? Significance of tab in C, there is no significance of tab in C. Only in Python programming language, we have significance of tab and space. In C programming language, we don't have any significance of tab or space. It's for just giving a space, that's it. So C programming, we don't get any error if you give an additional space, extra space and all. But other programming languages, you have to be very careful, like Python. Oh, answers also there in that. That's good. You're making my job easier. Okay, well, why we use tab? To just make it look beautiful. So what happens is if I use tab, right, it will be clear that okay, it is belonging to this block. If I write everything in a single line, it is very difficult when the programs are of huge length to understand which is the block which I'm referring to and all. So when you come to your second year, you will be seeing in your programming labs where you have a little bit lengthier programs where tracing becomes difficult. Readability is very hard if you have not used tab. So it looks easier and anyone can understand easily. So that's why we go for giving tab space. Other than that, your compiler does not take it anything on tab. Okay, and then what else question I have? Okay, Python, surely tab is making a difference. Even not even a tab, a space is making a difference. Okay, I don't know what was a question from Ananya. If you could elaborate it, I'll just read out the question. The question says, are there any cases where if condition would give a fault answer? Example, when we add n number of statements. I'm not getting, hope I would have answered it, or I'm not getting your questions. If condition will give a wrong answer, if the condition is false, it will never enter if, it will come outside. That's what I'm referring, maybe your question. If not, please put the explanation of that question, I'll answer it. What if we put braces from true block to outside if and the value is given -5, what will it print in the output? Oh God, I'm not understanding your question again here. What if we put braces? Okay.
I guess some of the questions were like respective to the problem you were solving at that time. So,
Oh, fine. Sorry for that. Any volunteers, if you see that right then and there, please let me know because I'll be in the coding screen. So
we did solve it.
Yeah. Okay, fine. It'll print both. Okay, you have written the answers for that.
Yes.
That would be fine. Condition inside the answer will check whether it is 0 or non-zero. 0 then false, else true. Perfect. Print any question in which I have to solve. I don't think all volunteers are doing the job on my behalf. That's good. Okay, one which I used, printing a printf statement, right? The length of it. So first it prints the printf and then it prints the total length of it. So that's how it goes. It goes from right to left. We call it as associativity when you're printing the length of printf statement. Yeah, greater than or equal to also can be used. That's just a relational operator. So you can use greater than, equal to. Many relational operators are there which you can use. I just used greater than and equal to. You can use anything. But equal to and equal to are not same. That's what I showed you in my last example. Cascaded if else, nothing but nested. No, sorry, nothing but else if ladder. Cascaded if else is nothing but else if ladder, or you can also go for nesting. This is the different names used. That's it. Oh, answer is also given. That's great. I think there is no question which I have to answer. Yeah. Okay. There is a question from Shreyas Grouda. If not of 1/5, then it's true because 1/5, the answer will be in 0 point something. It's an integer, so answer is 0. Not of 0 is 1. So it's true. So Harsha has given the correct answer. Okay, great to see the answers floating out from your side itself. That gives me a confidence that, okay, you're getting in what I'm telling, most of you. I've kept it very simple. I feel I've not complicated much. Okay, any questions? I can take it on orally if you have on the questions instead of putting in chat. If volunteers are allowing it, or if you write it to volunteers, and volunteers, if you have any questions which you want me to solve, I can take it before proceeding into the next topic. 2 more topics are left out, which I'll be going in. If you can give access for the participants to ask questions, that is also fine for me. Or if you take the questions in chat section and want me to solve, that is also fine for me.
Yeah, if they can even raise their hands if they have any doubt.
Fine. If any questions, raise your hand. I think volunteers will give you access. Okay, I don't think so. Any questions? So quickly we'll move on to the next 2 topics. Any questions meanwhile you have, just put it in the chat section. Anyone who knows the answer, please make yourself comfortable to answer it. Fine. If at all there is any question which needs an explanation or you want me to show in the code, at the end, volunteers can bring it up to me at the end of the session. That would be fine. I don't mind anyone answering the questions. If it's a wrong answer, I'll get back to it. So, or else anyone can answer the questions, those who know it. Any question you need explanation or you want me to show, I can take it up in the coding ID. Okay, then let me proceed with the next two constructs. Okay. Next is nested. Little bit understanding of braces and how it works, that's all. See the statements here. Int a equal to 3 if a greater than 0. Enter. Inside again I'm writing an if a mod 2 equal to 0. Just giving you an example. Yeah. No problem, or it will be too small size. Okay. I have a value for a, that's 3. I've given a static value for a, that's 3, and then telling a greater than 0. It's true. So if you have to clean track the braces here, that's why the need of spaces and all, tab space. This is when the statements are complicated, when the statements are nested, it's very difficult to track which is the block coming under this if, which is a block coming under this else. So that's where we use tab spaces and braces. Modern IDEs will give you these connecting lines also. If you see, there is one dotted line connected. So modern IDEs will always give you these kinds of help so that you are in track to the number of braces opened and closed. So what I'm doing is, inside if, I'm having another if. So first a greater than 0, a is 3. Yes, 3 is greater than 0. If 3 is greater than 0, then only it comes inside. After coming inside, again I'm checking if 3 mod 2 equal to 0. This operator is called Modulus operator to check reminder. It gives a reminder. Okay, you know what I mean by reminder? In mathematics, when you divide a number, you have quotient and remainder. Correct? So 3 divided by 2. Usually when we give 3 divided by 2, the answer should be 1.5. I know that all are very smart in math, so the answer should be 1.5. But your computer is not so smart. A is an integer and it's a modulus operator. So it doesn't directly give the answer as 1.5. It knows that the user wants the remainder. So it doesn't do the fraction division. It does the integer division. So 3 by 2, the answer will be 1 in the quotient section and the remainder will be 1. Fine. When you divide 3 by 2, the remainder will be, sorry. When you divide 3 by 2, the remainder will be 1. 2 ones are 2 and then 3 minus 2 is 1. So I hope you're clear with that. Remainder operator, what it does in mathematics, it's not a fractional division. It does. If it's an integer a and a 2 given here, then it gives a reminder of it. So a mod 2, What's a reminder? The reminder is not 0. The reminder is 1. So if the reminder is 1, that means it should not come inside. It should tell that it's a positive number. Just it's not an even number. It's an odd number. You know that. Anything divided by 2, if it yields the reminder as 0, then we call it as a positive number. Other than that, we call it as a odd number. So I can also give it as your odd number. Make the concept clear. Fine. So this is a nested if. So what happens here is it comes to this if outside if block only if this particular condition is true. So now it is 3. So a greater than 0 is true. So a mod 2 equal to 0 is false. So it will print odd number. So let me run this. You can see it is printing odd number. Let me give a value as 4. A is greater than 0. Yes, true. So it comes inside. Again, you have a if condition. So a mod 2 equal to 0. Yes, the remainder of 4 divided by 2 is 0. So that's why it prints even number. It doesn't go to the else part. Don't have a misconception that whatever is there in if, everything will be executed. No. If you have another if else inside that, again it will perform a check. And only if it is true, it will do this, or else it will directly come outside. So don't think, okay, true block, everything will be executed. So it will print both even number and odd number. No, since it is another if inside an if, so again, this will be taken as an independent if else only. And if it has come to this particular if, it will never enter the else, it will come outside. Any one statement has to be executed because it's a true block for the first if. And this is the false block of the first if. Okay, now I've given the value as 4. So 4 is greater than 0, it enters inside. 4 mod 2 is equal to 0, so it prints even number. It doesn't go to the else part, or it doesn't go to this outside else also. So you can see here, it's an even number which is printed. If I give -4, a greater than 0 is false, so it will never enter this block. It will directly come to the false block and it will print negative number. So you can see here it is printing negative number. This kind of construct is called as nested if. What I mean by nested if is inside if I'm writing another if else. You can nest any of the above constructs. So everything is called as nested. If someone comes inside another person, it's called nested if else if ladder. Any of these you can actually go for nesting inside each of them. Such construct we call it as nested if. It may not be just if else. You can nest anything. So all these together they come in a single program inside one of the other. Then we call them as nested if. So here I have given an example of nested if else, because the outside construct is if else, and inside that we have given another if else. So that's why it is called a nested if else. Fine. If I remove this else part, I call it as nested if, because in the outside if I have nested other if construct. Yeah. So this is how in general we call it as nested if constructs, or nested any specific construct also you can give a name based on the outer construct. So this is your nesting. You can nest any number of constructs within each of them. I've given a assignment question also, any interesting question how you can actually show nesting and do a same task in different kinds of if constructs. Coming into the next one, I've used all the IDs. Let me erase one of them and then show you. Okay. Here we'll go to the switch. Okay. Let me have int a is equal to 3. Switch a is 1. Printf statement 1 \n semicolon We have one more statement here outside saying that outside which it's similar to LC ladder, which is exactly similar to LC ladder. And okay, so if I have the LC ladder example, I could have shown. Okay, you can see here LC ladder, same example I've taken. If A equal to 1, it will print ST1. Else if it will again check whether A is equal to 2 and it will print ST2. So what I'm doing here is else if A equal to 2, I'm using this much. So this whole thing, else if A equal to, this whole thing is actually being chucked here. Case. What it just does is it takes A, it compares whether A is equal to 1. Same as writing if A equal to 1. It's similar to writing this much. Case 1. Now what is the meaning of case 1? It is similar to writing if A equal to 1. What is this break doing is, if this person is true, don't go to any of the other persons. So break this block here itself. The meaning of break is break the block here itself and go outside. So if my value of A is 1, now it is given 4. If I give my value of A as 1, it checks whether A is equal to 1. True. If it is true, it will print this, that is ST1. Then it will see a break. So as soon as it sees a break, it comes outside to this part, print outside switch. So we'll run this. You can see ST1 outside switch. Had it been given as 3. So first it will check A, it is 3. So case A equal to 1, no. So it will go to next one. A equal to 2, no. It will go to next one. A equal to 3, yes. If it's true, it will print ST3 and it will come outside and will print outside switch. So you can see ST3 and outside switch getting printed. See here. That's the case. Okay. Why default has been written? If you see your else if ladder, we have a else. If no condition is matching previous, by default this line should be printed. Same way here also we are doing the same thing. If it doesn't match to any of the cases, simply print this. And after this we are not writing break. It's a foolish thing to write break after default. Why? Because there is nothing to be executed or there is no other statement to be going after default. It is directly going outside this. If you write break, you are telling that go outside the block. If you don't write break also, it is going outside the block because there is nothing to be executed after default. So we are not giving break to default. Default acts as an else. So it works as an else. So the combination of case and break will act as your if. The next one will be again acting as else if. It's same as writing A equal to 2. This is same as writing else if A equal to 3. Last one, default, we call it as else. So switch is similar to else if ladder. So in programming languages and most of other programming languages, advanced programming languages, we don't have switch. We don't have a switch construct. For example, if you take Python itself, Python doesn't have a switch construct because else if ladder is quite good enough to do whatever switch is able to do. So we don't have switch in Python. So that's where it goes. It's similar to else if ladder. Only thing is the syntax is different. Okay, coming to some of the questions, what they usually ask is, this particular A is always converted to an integer. Is always converted to an integer. But there are some variations possible. So what happens is, I'll not give int A. Let me take another example. Okay, I'll remove this and I'll do. Let me take character A equal to capital A. Understand the meaning of this. There is a variable called A, which is of type character, to which I have given capital A. but computer does not understand capital A. So ultimately, what will be stored in variable A is 65 in binary. Why 65 in binary? Because the value of A, capital A in ASCII, it is 65. So 65 will be converted to binary and stored. Now what happens is, if I give switch A, see the case what I can give. I can give case. If you know the ASCII values, directly I'll write 65. Printf st1 \n, let me give. Case 66. Statement 1, let me write A. Your understanding. Statement 2, let me write B. Let me take the next one as a default. I'll write. Okay. So if you see, I have given capital A, whose ASCII value is 65, and in switch I'm telling A, and I'm matching case 65. So what it does is, implicitly it will match if ASCII of A equal to 65. This is what the computer is implicitly doing. Who is doing ASCII of A? Who? I have not written ASCII of A anywhere. Did I write? No, I have not written. But implicitly, when you give a character to a switch, it converts into integer. So the integer equivalent to any of a character is its ASCII code. So I'm checking whether A equal to 65. It's, sorry, not small a. Capital A is equal to 65. It is true. So what it prints? st1 A. So we'll see whether it is printing. You can see st1 A. Why it printed st1 A? Because I've given 65, and 65 is actually ASCII code of A. So instead of writing if ASCII of single quotes A is equal to 65, I directly wrote case 65. Instead of 65, I can also write within single quotes A. Now what happens if I give case single quotes A? Computer will automatically compute ASCII of A equal to, again it's same as writing here ASCII of A. So since I have given here A, automatically it will write by itself this line. So there are two ASCII conversions. Once because of this A, another time because of this particular constant. Now also the answer will be st1. So if you see the answer, it will be st1 A. Earlier I gave 65 because I knew the answer ASCII code of it. But if you don't know the ASCII code of it, write the characters in single quotes. But don't write it like this. It's error. Case value should also always be an integer. The value of a case should always be an integer. Fine. So if I give case A and if I run, it gives me an error. Can be a variable. It throws an error. So you have to be very careful with this. You need to be giving in single quotes. So whatever you give in single quotes, the computer will automatically convert it to its ASCII code. Now one more is I gave A also. I gave 65 also. This is one of the questions which was asked. A2 I'll write A1. Now what is the answer? I gave case A 65. Both are there. So both are matching. So what will be the problem? Now the compiler is confused. So it throws, whenever the compiler is confused, if it's not affecting the solution, if it's not affecting the solution, it throws a warning if it's a small thing. If it's affecting the solution, then it throws a error. Now it's affecting your solution. Why? Because this statement also gives a correct answer, and printing this statement is also correct answer. But if it prints both of them, it's like violating the switch. So there it is actually conflicting. So what it does is it throws you a simple error. What is the error? It's telling that both of them are same. See here, duplicate case value. You may think I gave 65 and I gave single quotes A. How is it duplicate? But single quotes A is nothing but 65. How do it is 65? Because computer automatically computes ASCII value, whichever you have given it in single quotes. So this is a question. You cannot have the same case values. It throws duplicate value error. So this is regarding your switch. So these are the constructs which you have in your branching. I know it's your complete second module of your first year, which I have covered it in 2 hours. So for few of you, it may be a bit complex to go out. But since you have finished your first years, those are in second year, it should be easy for you. If anyone from first year is there, I know it may be a little bit difficult because I am writing and I am showing you the everything. But when you are writing and practicing, it may be a bit difficult to understand. So you have any problem in understanding, get back to any of the team in SOSC, or you can bring it back to me. I have shared my details also with the team. We can discuss on any of the questions. But one thing you need to remember, unless until you execute and see, you're not going to understand the C language. It's a very beautiful programming language and it takes time to understand. So please give time for yourself to understand this language and execute as many problems as possible. In your engineering student life, per day around 2 hours is minimum what I feel for learning programming. So with this, I'll again open the question for the participants, and then I can see few questions, and then I think few answers are also getting floated. I think assignment questions are put up somewhere. Volunteer, I want to quickly know, have you put up the assignment questions in any platform?
We did, sir, but then it might take some time to get uploaded on the CodeChef platform. So as soon as
I can see some of the questions getting answered here from the first week. Okay, very easy questions I had given. A little bit tricky questions. Common sense had to be used in some places. Without using plus, how can you add? You always know in maths, it's not a computer science. Minus of minus is plus. So that's how someone has actually answered. So that's it where it goes. It's a syntax. Why do we use colon after each case? It's a syntax. What do you mean by syntax is, okay. Next question, why do you use colon? If you used a pair of braces to tell that it is a block, correct, no? You could have written like this. So these questions are very great to answer actually. Someone should have asked this question also, see. This also tells that it is belonging to one block. Why did you use colon? So if I have to answer that, this brace makes it as an independent construct. If I would have given it as a brace, then this case would have been an independent construct. I should show that this case is not an independent construct. It's a subpart of switch. So they did not want to use brace. That's why they used colon. That's a question which is coming. Very interesting question, which had come once when I was teaching also in first year. Every time the block is shown using braces, why in case we are using colon? Correct? Because if the student has learned Python programming languages also, everywhere we use colon for considering the block there. We use colon. Colon is high significance in Python. So here, why he has not used brace is, why he has used colon is, if he has used brace, then this case would have been taken as an independent construct. Since this case is belonging to this switch, he did not want to differentiate the things. So that's why he has used colon. It's a syntax. What do you mean by syntax is, in English, you have grammar. For example, I can tell apple is a fruit. You will understand. Correct? But I can also tell apple fruit. Then also you will understand. But in English, we prefer telling apple is a fruit. Why did we use is and a? That's a grammar, right? So the same way in programming languages also, we use certain grammars, certain structures to tell my computer this is how it is. In English, if you don't use easy, then also we'll understand, but computer will not understand if you one single mistake you're making in syntax. If even a full stop or semicolon you have missed, then your computer is throwing an error. But in English, it is not like that. If you don't give a full stop also, we'll understand that it is a sentence. Because our intelligence is more than computer's intelligence. So we apply our intelligence to understand it. But computer is feeded with the concept. So it will only match whether the syntax is matching. If anything is not matching, it will throw an error. It will not go for artificial intelligence. It simply throws an error. So there are programming languages which are coming up in future where it will automatically correct your mistakes, where you need not use the burden of writing semicolon every time. That's why you can see in Python, improved version, there is no burden of writing semicolon. So as and then it goes, the programming languages improve and make it easier for you to write. There are some programming languages which are coming in future where you just write a paragraph in English, what you want, automatically it will write a C program for you. You just have to write in English. Look, my teacher has given me two numbers, A and B, and he wants me to add those two numbers and give the result. And he tells that the results have to be in floating point. Just write this much. It gives you an answer. And don't be surprised. If you write this much, your Google is also giving answer. Just that it is taking the keywords and it is writing a C program for you. So those programming languages are also coming in future, where they're using artificial intelligence to understand the phrases in your English and then write a statement or program for yourself. So other programming languages are easier compared to C, but if you learn C, the best one to start. That's what I can say. With respect to colon, that was a very lengthy explanation and maybe quite boring explanation for C. I usually like C. That's why I'm always in favor of it. Please excuse those who like other languages. Fawaz has given not sure. Is it just a syntax? It is a syntax. Now you should be sure. Okay, Pawan has explained that. Practice question. How it be done without plus? Okay, it's very simple. Who's asked this question? Okay. Any questions? Further questions? I can quickly take it. You can raise your hand. I guess volunteers can give you access to ask questions. If not, I'll share the questions for this week. I think I've shared with Swastik.
Yeah, sir. We have also added those
Yeah.
questions in the CodeChef. Only questions which are guessing the output are not, or like we did not put that in the CodeChef portal.
Okay, fine. So you're telling objective type questions are not put up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. It's okay. You can give it to them later part whenever is it possible. I've already shared with you, right?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay. Any questions? I can take it on. If not, I think I've finished with the concepts. Any questions on your first session also, I can take it. If you had any questions or any concept on first session or this session, I can take it. And the next session, I think it's in the Friday. Friday, it's fine, right? We'll be going with looping. Same 8. Okay, I think your confirmation will be from your organizers. Friday, we'll go for looping constructs. So can you once discuss the third question from the exercise? Okay, week 1 or week 2? Viga Nayak is having a question. Can you discuss third question from exercise? So I just want to know third question of week 1 or week 2?
Oh, week
sir,
1, sir, week 1.
Yeah.
Because we didn't
Week
give them
1.
week 2 yet. We'll be giving them soon.
Okay. Write a program in C to find the integer double of a given integer without using arithmetic operator. Okay. I don't know if Mega is from first year or second year. Okay. I'll give a clue. I think that would be better, right? Okay.
Yes.
So the clue is you have given already.
Sir, she is from first
Okay.
year.
She's from first year. Okay. There is an operator called a left shift and right shift. That's the answer for 2 questions. One of the shift will double your number. One of the shift will make an integer half of your number. Okay, I'll show it. What is there in that? Now, since I've given you the answer, I can show there. Let us have an integer 7. Printf percentage d backslash n a left shift 1 printf right shift 1. So this is called left shift and right shift. So left shift will increase, right shift will decrease. So we'll see the answer. One should be giving you 14, another should be giving you 3. See, 14 and 3. 14 is a double of 7. 3 is an integer half of 7. Why integer half? 7 by 2 is 3.5. So in integer division, we get 3. So that's a half of it. That was a question. So this operator is called right shift and left shift. What is it doing is, okay, since we have time, I'll quickly tell. 7, if I take 4-bit representation, you know 7 in binary, we write it as 0, 1, 1, 1. This is 7 in binary. Fine? Okay. So what I have told here is 7 should be left shift by 1. So what it does is, it moves the digits towards left side. So you can give it here, bring it this side, so you'll come to. So in first place 0 was there, that will move to the second place. That 1 will move to the next place, another 1 will move to the next place. So this last one is thrown out. So there is a blank space in one front. So it will add 0 here. This is left shift by 1. So this last one is thrown out. Next one comes to the this place. This one will come this place. 0 will go 1 forward step front. So last place usually will be blank. That will be padded with 0. So the answer will be 0, 0, 1, 1. So this is nothing but 3. Same way when I write right shift, right? So what happens is 7 right shift by 1. So what happens here is it starts movement towards this side. So last 0 will be thrown outside. So the 1 will come here. Next another 1, 1. So at the last place you will have a blank. So that will be put with 0. So this is the 14. I know it's very difficult to explain in IDE while typing in code. I would have done very easily. But you need to be shifting it, moving one places towards right side and towards left side. It moves one place because you have given move once. If I give 2 here in place of 1, it moves 2 times, 1 bit by bit. And what is this 0, 1, 1, 1? Those who are in first year, it's a binary equivalent of 7. And 1, 1, 1, 0, its equivalent number is 14. 0, 0, 1, 1, its equivalent number is 3. And this is in binary. Zeros and ones, what I have written, it's in binary. So this should have solved your answer, I guess. Oh, can't see the screen? Volunteers, please confirm. Can you see my screen, which I was explaining?
We can, sir. Yes, we can.
Okay, fine.
I'm not sure if
Okay.
it was a problem from our end.
Okay. What you can do is, Megha, I think they'll put the recording in your email or something they'll send. So you just go through that if your screen was not visible. So this is the solution for it. I'll just comment these things. This is the explanation which I gave, or else the program will throw error. So this was a simple question on that. Okay. That's it. I think that should have solved that question. I think I'll just go and see what are the questions. Others, if there is any difficult question. Okay, one question, one trick in this is, it's a very easy program. Most of you will print 7 mod 2 answer you will print, but I want you to print this symbol. How do you print percentage symbol? I'll show what I'm referring to. Okay, let me delete these persons and then do it here. Printf. See if I write percentage b less percentage b equal to percentage b backslash n. I'll give 7 2 comma 7 plus 2. Okay. First percentage d it takes 7, second percentage d it takes 2, next percentage d it takes 7 plus 2, that is 9. So the answer will be 7 plus 2 equal to 9. You see the result. See, 7 plus 2 equal to 9. Now I've taken static inputs, but you had to take a plus like this. You had to take a, b, and you had to read the values of a and b, and here you should have given a, b, and then here you should have given a plus b. But now let me take static values so that I'm not wasting time in scanner. Okay. So you can see here a plus 2 is printed. I want to print 7 mod 2. That is, it should be printing 1, right? So instead of this plus, the plus it is printing correct, no problem. I want to print percentage symbol. If I run like this, it is throwing. See, it's not giving me the answer. So how do I do it? Actually, the answer is there in this particular line itself. How do you print percentage symbol? To print one percentage, you need to give another percentage. That was a trick, that's it in printing. Simple things. See, if you want, I'll show it in separately. Printf, just 1 percentage is not. So if you give 2 percentage, comment these 2 lines. This is not required for us now. See, it prints 1 percentage. So if you want 2 percentage, you need to print 4 times. We call it as escaping the meaning. So percentage acts as an escape for itself. The first percentage will remove the meaning of the second percentage. So that's how you had to print. So that's the only thing there. Other things you can easily do it. Half, double and half, I told you the logic. Octal and hexadecimal, I have explained it in last week's code itself. Okay, how do you print positive numbers with leading plus? This also I've told in the flag. Second week questions, I think they'll put it up. Very easy questions, few objective type questions, and one question which I've used for ternary operator. Okay, I have 15 more minutes. Let me quickly give you an example of ternary operator. So see here, if I give 2 variables int a, sorry, a equal to 3, semicolon. See the if statement here. I'm writing if a greater than 3, enter. So I'll not write greater than 3. Let it be greater than 0. I'll print a positive number. Else enter negative number. Okay, I've written a simple statement. You can see here. If value of a is greater than 0, it takes it as a positive number, or else it takes it as a negative number. Now it should be giving me the answer as positive number because a is 3. And if I give minus 3, it should be giving me the answer as negative number. That's it. The same logic I'll write using ternary operator. It will look very easy. Let's erase these things. Same int equal to 3 I have taken initially. right? If right, a greater than 0 question mark printf positive number printf negative number semicolon. Here I've written one line. Let me run this. See, same answer, positive number, because a is 3. If I write -3, it gives negative number. See, that's the power of ternary operator. What we wrote in a lengthy program like this, see the number of lines here. One if and a block, multiple lines are there. A huge number of lines are more here. But if you see the next one, which I wrote in single line, I wrote same answer it is giving. So this is the power of ternary operator. So what is it doing is, whatever is there before this, it is a condition. So this is your condition. So this is your condition. So I'll just make it so you can see it. Yeah, this is your condition. Till question mark, whatever is there, right? That is your condition. Next, everything from here, it's taking it as true block until it gets a semicolon. After this, whatever is there, it takes it as a false block until the end. End is nothing but your semicolon. So that's all it is doing. If the condition is true, I'll just comment this. Sorry. Excuse me. Sometimes the syntax of Python comes in between. Yeah. So see the statement here. First, it is condition before question mark. So what is the condition? A greater than Z. If the condition is true, whatever is there from here after question mark till this colon will be executed. You can see here. If this condition is false, it will never come to this part. It will directly go to after colon. So there are two blocks of a ternary operator. Why it is called ternary operator? Name only says 3 blocks are there. Which are the 3 blocks? A condition block, a true block, a false block. So there are 3 blocks in one operator. So that's why it is called as a ternary operator. Ternary means 3. Binary means 2. Unary means 1. This is unary minus. It's giving sign. A equal to -3 is binary. Because -3 is one operand, A is another operand. This is ternary because there are 3 operands. One is a condition yielding into true or false. This condition should always give either true or false. It can be an expression or it can be anything. So now it is an expression here. And it should have a true block and it should have a false block. That's it. So this is your ternary operator. Hope I have cleared the doubt of ternary operator also. That was one of the question, I guess. Yeah. Ternary operator can solve very large problems in simple steps, but it is a bit complex to understand when they are nested ternary operators. So this question belongs to nested ternary operator. So you can try with this. And I have given a question of finding largest of 3 numbers using all if constructs. Or using every construct, you can do largest of 3 numbers, but the most efficient is the ternary operator. Other things are taking more time. So for first year, it is not required, but remember one thing in computer science, space and time are the factors to be considered. Factors to be considered. What do you mean by time? Time taken to execute your program. How fast is your program executing? That defines your speed. Space is how much space does your program consume. Fine. Nowadays, we don't care much about space because we have lots of space, and with quantum computing coming into place, we don't mind on space. But time is very, very essential. And space is essential when we consider RAM, because RAM space is not increased more than 8 to 16. We have kept it limited, right? So I'm not complicating that. Interesting topic. Google it out and find it. Any program we are writing, we are concentrating on these two factors, space and time. Space should be less and time should be less. Space utilized should be less and the time taken should be less to execute a program. Fine. So whenever we are telling time, each operator takes a time. Each line takes its own time. So minimizing number of lines, minimizing number of operations and getting your answer is making your program more efficient. Because if one line is taking 1 second, then 2 lines will take 2 seconds, 3 lines is taking 3 seconds. It goes on like that. So for example, if you see the previous program, around 5 lines, we reduce it to, you can see here, how many lines are there? More lines, we reduced it to a single line. So if one line was taking 1 second, previous program would have taken 4 seconds. Now I'm taking 1 second. That means my program is faster. Though it is complicated, you should always remember the programs which take less time are usually with complicated logic. But we have to go for less time because it's the age of artificial intelligence, automatic driving cars. So your car cannot take time in putting a brake when a human being comes in front of him. It should be a fraction of a second. That means your image processing should be so fast, within fraction of a second, it should apply a brake if some obstacle is coming. And it should not be foolish also. If a paper is coming, it should not put a brake sudden, so that whoever is inside the car will come outside. So those kinds of other factors which you need to be considering while writing a program. So I'll not complicate these things, leave about space and time. Just remember that there are factors when you're writing a program. One program can be written in many ways. That's what is my question here. All the 4 are telling that same question. But how efficient you are writing, that is on these last two programs. If you're able to write that in last 2, it's you're reducing your time, more efficient. That's it I have for the session. Any questions? I can take it quickly or I'll end up the session. I know it's 2 hours, very difficult. That also in the late evening. I'm getting many questions of C++ also. One thing you need to remember, whatever is working in C, it's working in C++ with exactly the same syntax. That should solve all your C++ thing. Whatever is in C, printf if you write in C++, it works. But cout does not work in C. Cin does not work in C. C++ is a superset. C is a subset. So that's what you need to be knowing. So whatever I wrote in C, exactly if you write in C++, it works. Last time also this was a question, because C++ is a superset of C. It's simple. The one who had designed Red, I'm going out of the box. First, they designed C programming language. They wanted to improve, so they went for C++.
They wanted to again improve. So if improve means they should give 4+, no. But it is very difficult to write 4+. So 2+ means what? Increment. Means they
wanted to tell C++ is better than C, more features than C. There is another programming language which is having more features and more capacity than C++. So there is 4+. So 4+ writing is a little bit awkward. So what did he do? He wrote hash. Hash is actually a combination of 4+, if you clearly see. So we call this language as C#. 1+ in the top, another plus is next. If you combine 4+, no, 2 top and 2 bottom, it becomes hash. So that's how they give naming. Then one who had designed programming languages, right? They give naming like this. He wanted to tell that it is the higher end of C. That's why he gave a name as C#. So this hash has 2 meanings. One is sharp. Sharp means highest note in music. If you see in music, there is one symbol which comes like hash, which they call it a sharp note. And it also tells that it is combination of 4+. If you see carefully, C# is actually a combination of 4+, this hash. It tells that it is an advancement to C++. That's how it goes. Naming of programming languages. And all these 3 programming languages you will learn in your engineering. C, C++, and C#. So that should solve your answer. But in C#, C++ syntax will not work. Don't take it wrong in that sense. Okay, then I'll wind it up. I hope it's 9:55 exactly. Time to end our session. Any questions? Yeah, I can see someone has unmuted yourself. Okay, no questions. I think you are not from first year. I may remember your USN also says that you are from higher semester. Any question you have, Michelle?
No, sir. I was about to wind up the session.
Okay, you have a speech to tell in the end of the session. That's okay.
Yeah,
Carry
I
forward.
just.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Fine then. We'll see you in the next session on looping on Friday. I think Friday, right?
Yeah,
Swastik,
yes,
Friday
sir.
is fine,
On
right?
Friday.
Oh, I remember
Yes,
now.
sir.
You were my student, I guess, then last
Yes,
year.
sir. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Now third year.
Yeah, now third, yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Sadly, we couldn't
You are
get
in the
USD.
organizing committee.
Yeah, exactly, sir.
Okay. Fine. Okay. Go ahead. Whatever you have to tell, let me listen. Maybe something beautiful you have written. Let me listen. Yeah. Go
No,
ahead.
sir, nothing like that. Just I will be sharing the CodeChef contest page for them to submit the assignments, and the next session will be on Friday. And if you all have any doubts, you all can contact us in the group, or you can text us personally. And we have selected few people, so we'll be giving them stickers to them. So because they have been very active throughout the session. Yeah, so keep on practicing and then be active, because this week we're gonna choose executive members for our group. So yeah, all the best and keep practicing. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So whoever is active will be giving stickers to them.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then what I'll be getting posted?
Yeah.
Okay. That's just kidding. It's okay. See you then in the next week. Thank you.
Yeah.
Any
Thank you, sir.
questions? Pile it up in the next week sessions. I'll see you there in the next week. Hope it was informative. Let me know on the feedback also if it was too fast or slow, any concept which I had to give. Thank you, and then have a nice day. Bye. Night. Sorry.
Thank you,
Bye.
sir. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks everyone for joining. Bye.
Bye bye.